Halloween Ends has received its official R rating from the Motion Picture Association. And of course, this doesn't come as a surprise at all. The shock, of course, would be if it was didn't receive an R rating. Could you imagine the absolute shock and cries out into the universe from certain fans if it was announced that the MPA had rated Halloween Ends PG-13? I don't even want to imagine it. It is really cool though to see everything moving forward, right along, further down the road back to Haddonfield. So the MPA has given Halloween Ends an R rating for what they call, quote, bloody horror, violence, and gore, language throughout, and some sexual references. And in some related Halloween Ends news, John Carpenter is appearing at Steel City Con in Pittsburgh this weekend, and he talked to a local newspaper ahead of that appearance, and the interview was published just a few days ago. And in that interview, he talks a bit about his friendship with, of course, Pittsburgh favorite native filmmaker, the late great George Romero, and some of the other projects that he has upcoming and that he's working on right now. And of course, the subject of Halloween Ends came up, as it's going to come up with pretty much anybody involved with this movie making any public appearances in the next 2 months. And there are a lot of those appearances coming up for a lot of people involved in this film, as they are all out there on the convention scene right now, including the man himself, John Carpenter. This comes to us from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, who spoke to John Carpenter ahead of his appearance at Steel City Con. And we'll go down here to the good stuff where he speaks very briefly, as Carpenter typically speaks very briefly about anything he's talking about, but he does speak briefly about Halloween Ends. He says, quote, I love working with David Gordon Green. He's a great director. I love supporting him, and I love this new role. I love making music. What's not to like? I've said before that I think John is happier than maybe he's ever been in his professional life, just kind of living the rock star dream right now. In this interview, John does seem to indicate that he has, in fact, with his bandmates, his son Cody Carpenter and godson Daniel Davies, they have apparently completed their work on the soundtrack for Halloween Ends. After stating that the film is, quote, somewhat different, again, just reiterating what Carpenter himself has previously said, and some other comments from those involved with the film, John Carpenter says that he is, quote, very proud of it and the work we did on the soundtrack, end quote. And of course, John then even reiterates what he said before, is that, yeah, if you think this is the last Halloween franchise movie, then clearly you don't know how Hollywood works. He says, if the movie makes money, I don't believe it's the end. There's a way of when a movie makes money, it seems to resurrect the next one. And again, this just reiterates exactly what John has previously said, that, yeah, this is going to end this saga, as they're saying in the marketing. It's going to end this version of this Michael versus Laurie story. But this franchise will continue, as we've said, for some time. It's just likely that we're probably not going to see Michael on the big screen for a little while now after Halloween Ends. And that's why I keep saying, let's just enjoy this cherished anticipation over the next 2 months. One more cool Halloween Ends update is just earlier this evening, on Thursday evening, August 11th, the Shape himself, the original Shape himself, Nick Castle, shared a fun photo on his Twitter account. Here is that photo. That is Mr. Castle in the ADR recording studio, and you can see on the screen there, yes, that is in fact a new look at Michael Myers at the mask in Halloween Ends. He is recording the breathing. In the tweet, Nick says, quote, breathing some life into the shape for the last time. So bittersweet. And there's a zoomed in look at what he is looking at on the screen as he is specifically doing some shape breathing right here. James Jude Courtney has put it that way before, that Nick is there spiritually breathing life into the character, while James physically brings the character to life and embodies what Nick and John and Tommy Lee Wallace and Deborah Hill and everybody created in 1978. Absolutely, along with Carpenter coming back and doing these soundtracks for these recent Halloween films, as well as Halloween Ends, and then also having Nick Castle involved, filming the cameo appearances he's filmed, and doing the breathing of the shape. I mean, it really does just bring it home and pay homage to the legacy of this franchise in such a cool and fun way. So that was an exciting photo to see. Let me know your thoughts on these latest updates on Halloween Ends. How excited are you to hear the first new track from Carpenter from the Halloween Ends score? I expect that's probably going to be coming pretty soon. It was in August when we got the very first track from the Halloween Kills soundtrack, I believe. So it's going to be coming pretty soon. So let me know in the comments how excited you are for that. Did seeing this photo of Nick Castle in the ADR booth give you a little bit of goosebumps like it did me? I'd love to hear your thoughts on all of this. I'm Matt Arts for Halloween Daily News. Thank you for watching.